Welcome to Life Skills TTP. And today we're going to talk about life is the appropriate sentence. And I just want to give my condolences to the person's family that's no longer here. What his real name is. And I don't like doing this. I don't like using situations or somebody's bad decision to either push forward or elevate myself in any way, whether it be financially or whatever. I'm only talking about this because why do they always do this? Like, this is an industry thing because doing my research, there is roughly in the United States 2,400 individuals 20 years or younger that are never getting out. And so what makes this one special? It doesn't. He has a good family, and their family's probably respected in the community, and they didn't really even think, because of the way that they raised him, that this would ever be a possibility. But I'm not going to talk about him. I'm going to talk about myself. And also, this is going to be in the community. I'm not going to put this public. This is for my subscribers. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to give you a little in-depth look to why I feel this way about this. I'm going to talk about myself. So at 20 years old, he's 20. I'll go back 4 years to when I was getting my permit, because I believe it has a lot to do with what happened to him also. So at 16, well, actually 15 and a half, you get your permit. So at 16, I'm going to get my permit. And on this particular day, the night before I went out, I actually snuck out the window. So when I come back, everything's locked. But I could go through the garage, and I said, I just laid out in here. I couldn't even get in the house, and I'm not breaking in, none of that. I know they locked me out on purpose. So my mom opens up the garage door. She has her purse and everything, and she just says, "Get in the car. Are we taking the test today?" And I'm like, I got it. She's like, nope. It's such and such a time. We got to get down there. So she takes me down there. And I failed that test. Oh, I failed the test. You get 3 shots, though. And so she didn't say nothing. She was just like, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this is kind of weird. I understood it later. The second time, I was procrastinating, didn't study, all of that stuff, because you got the little DMV book. You got to study it, all this. I'm bull crapping. We rapping. You got to remember, 1986, all this stuff. There is way more important things than actually getting resourced, apparently, at that age for me. And so I went a second time and failed it again. Now, see, most people wouldn't be that transparent. They'll say, but you got to remember now, I'm trying to drive. I had one more shot. And so it's pretty silent there at the house. And, my parents are just like, whatever. He must not want to drive. He must not want to drive. And for some reason, that second time, I was embarrassed. I seen the look on my mother's face, like she didn't understand this. And from that moment, I was like, nope, I only got one more shot and passed the test. Long story short, I passed the test. I get the permit. At 16, I'm driving. I have access to vehicles. And it just seems like when you do that, the first people that show up is friends like his. And not saying that he is different from them, and if it wasn't for them and all of this stuff. It happens gradually. I don't know how early he was driving, but it happens gradually. So at 16, I'm driving. And I go pick up one of my friends, Chris Bell, and another person over there on the side of Silver Creek. And I'm going to tell you this story because this is how this stuff goes. This is why I believe he's in this stuff. So I go over there, and there's this guy, Lamont, and we're friends, and kind of friends. He wants to come. Now I'm going across town to some females, and they really square. Like, this is, we nerd, like, we square. So we just going over there to hang out. They ain't with clothes coming off and whatever weird stuff that these individuals think should happen by whatever they watch or whatever they do. So I tell dude no. He's like, well, you get in the car. I had to get him out of the car. He told me, oh, you don't worry about it. I'm like, how? Why shouldn't I have to worry about it? It's my car. And so we went. And why I'm telling you this, because I had to do that repeatedly so I wouldn't be in situations like this. You have to set boundaries. And that was one of my first times. I never really said that to nobody. I always took everybody. I was cool. I never really tripped on that. But for some reason, I had an uneasy feeling about dude. And I didn't want to take it with. And I didn't. And it kicked off a whole thing. I mean, for about 2 or 3 years, I started running into this dude. He want to act like he want to do something. I was like, damn, I thought we were friends. All over the fact that I'm responsible. I have a license and a car. All of a sudden I'm acting funny. Man, that's bullshit. Because they think where you grow up and where you live, when you start driving, that means everybody in the neighborhood is supposed to ride. Apparently. Back then, this is in the 80s, 86, 87. Everybody's supposed to ride, apparently. And I wasn't with none of that. I stayed having problems. One of my best friends busted out my window. Mad, because I wouldn't pick him up. Stuff like that. And throughout my life, I tell you, that's why I have this channel, that I share my experiences. It's a lot of trauma. And just for no reason, when I'm the individual that's actually being cool, that's actually being like, hey, it is what it is. Sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. That's just me. I'm not always going to be like whatever you say. And so his family really came to bat for him. But I'm going to tell all the people, because I do this work, recidivism, I stopped messing with this stuff because they don't change their spots. What happened when he was 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? You see none of this stuff. You see none of the late life stuff. You didn't see none of the signs. I get tired of people that be around, parents, cousins, whoever, and act like they don't know. You know that these certain individuals belong to a gang probably. Oh, no, they're just my friends. And I told you, apparently, his girlfriend wasn't enough. And I know the only thing that he's thinking, because he was really crying, that's his girlfriend. It's over. And so I believe that's why he was crying, because he knows that was over. But he had the car license. He had the girlfriend. He didn't have to do none of that. Hey, get you a vocational trade, go to school or do whatever, and handle your business. I understand this clearly. That's why I'm talking about myself. I understand this clearly. At 20 years old, I had my first son, which changed my life. If that didn't happen, hey, this might be a different story. I might be standing up there. Who knows? But I know that you guys had plenty of time to intervene for many, many, many years. And the fact that they get away with a lot of this stuff is another thing, because there's other people running around that did stuff. And that's what really makes them really do it, is the fact that they know somebody who's gotten away with it. And then they're just like, oh, no, it ain't nothing, man. It ain't never. All you got to do is da-da-da-da. No, you're 20 years old. Some of you younger. What? No, it's over. I don't know. Look, we have to get out of the spell. The magic tricks, the whole not thinking, not being smart. The whole thing said, well, they got to prove we're in 2026. And for all of you posting about this being slavery, I'm going to refresh you, give you a refresher of the 13th Amendment. I'm going to give you a refresher. Thirteenth Amendment. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Everybody knows this about the 13th Amendment. When you commit a crime, it's over. They can put you to hard labor. They can do whatever. He's 20 years old, strong man, strong back. And the other reason they do that, and this is why in the United States, when I was pushing for them to close down a lot of these prisons, late 90s, early 2000s, nobody was on board. Nobody, no, we ain't, what are you talking about? Because it turned, the prison industry complexes on the stock market, it turned into a business. I know this specifically. I will talk about California specifically, Prison Industry Authority, PIA. They have laundry. They have lens lab. They have metal fab. They have woodwork. They make the dump trucks and all of that stuff for Caltrans. They got license plates. They make tags. The reason none of these jobs are in the United States is because they're in prison. And the person that you're looking at right there, due to the 13th Amendment, it's just said, as punishment for crime. It's right here. That's why you need to read all of the amendments. As a matter of fact, I have this on this channel. So if you go back, I have some episodes where I break down all of the amendments, I believe. And I talk about America and certain things like that because you should know. You never run around blind, especially if he was crying. He was so shocked. He was so shocked. He didn't know that his life was over. I don't know how you not know that. You planned an execution. Like, I don't understand. Like, you guys got to get out of that fantasy, the movies and all of that stuff where, no, I'll be all right. I'll beat it. And you go with the law. Come on, man. You don't even have a lawyer. Did you get picked up? You'd have a lawyer. Don't say nothing. No. And the only reason people, like I said, it's 2,400 individuals, 20 years or younger, that are never getting out of prison in the United States of America. He is not special, no disrespect, but he's not. He is a person they put up front, not only with the simple fact that he's light-skinned, I don't want to get into it, but the fact that his family really cares about him, and they are going to be devastated with this. That's why he's really posted up there. And I wish people would do a little more digging than using it for clout and clicks and views, because this is a classic story around the United States with identity crisis, with not just being, hey, I'm a square dude, I'm a nerd, it's cool. I got my car, I drive, I'm responsible, got my girlfriend, I don't need any other smoke. I don't need it. Because this is what happens when you don't set boundaries and you don't say no. You would rather throw your life away than to have to deal with these dudes. All my life I dealt with those dudes. Same way on here. Don't make no difference. And I just wanted to talk about that. This is going to be exclusively in the community. I appreciate all my subscribers subscribing to me. I know sometimes you go, hey, man, what's going on? I told you, I'm an artist a lot of this stuff, like I have the largest art therapy collection in the world. I do different stuff. I try different stuff. Some of the stuff is hey, and then other the stuff is like, but it's enough stuff. And I give you the informational content as far as staying in real time about resources, about what's actually going on with the price of gas and what is and stuff that's actually relevant to right now. And before we go, I'm gonna go up here, and this is so it was passed by Congress on January 31st, 1865. 1865. It is 2026. We can't still be talking about slavery, still can't be talking about voting, we still can't be talking about a lot of stuff because it's 2026. This was done in 1865. They told you clearly that as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall duly... So they said, hey, you come over here and we got you. And oh, you got a license? Yeah, you're a young man. We're gonna send you out here. I know it seems a little harsh, seems a little whatever. Nobody intervened. I keep telling you, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. You've seen all the signs, you've seen all the stuff. Like I said, I didn't stop doing this work. I stopped putting a lot of energy into it because the reality of it is very, very low of people that actually decide to change their things. I know this. I'm one of them. 21 years ago. Not recently. It's going to be a little more difficult now. A lot of less resources, a lot of less stuff. So I appreciate you guys listening. And I'm also got some stuff going on in the Patreon. I'm gonna start putting the links for that. A lot of stuff I'm gonna be talking about over there. I'm not gonna be doing over here. And enjoy your day.